like, share, and subscribe. Because we can ready to get into some things. Okay? Listen, y'all, listen. I ran across a little situation today. Okay? I want to touch on this situation with Shawnee O'Neal. Okay? Shawnee went and got a brand new tattoo. Okay? And the church members and stuff got upset with her because she went and got a tattoo. Okay? Let me tell you something. Me myself, I didn't see anything wrong with it. Okay, I understand she first lady, okay? But let me be honest with you. God works with everybody on his time. Okay? On his time. Not on other people's time, but on his time. Okay? And she just being herself. Right? That's what I be talking about. When you be yourself, people gonna talk about you anyway. Right? People gonna always have something to say when you just be you. Right? But what we have to learn is to just be ourselves. Okay? Not worrying about what somebody else think of us or how they feel about us. We got to learn to just be ourselves and be comfortable in our own skin, right? And I think some people, uh, some people are not comfortable in their own skin. You know, they really not. But let's talk about this situation with Shawnee O'Neal. She went and got a tattoo, okay? And the tattoo, she didn't talk about it. He's saying he didn't know anything about it, okay? He come out and say, she doesn't listen to me, you know. Uh, he came out and said that she doesn't listen to him, okay? And he didn't know anything about the tattoo, right? Well, the whole church is in an uproar because they saying, you know, she supposed to be first lady and she's not, how they put it, she's supposed to be the first lady and she's not really, um giving the young girls, right, something to go off of. Church members are upset with her because she went and got a tattoo. Church members are upset with her because she went and got a tattoo. And then her husband, we talking about Shawnee O'Neal, and then her husband came out and said he didn't know anything about it. She doesn't listen to me, you know. And of course, everybody was up in the air. Now, this is my thing. This why I titled this "When Being Yourself Goes Wrong." Okay, because God deal with you on His time, not my time, not the church time, but on His time. Okay, and I just don't understand people judging other people, right? Because for one thing, 9 times out of 10, you got some shit that's stinking in your own house, okay? You got some shit over there that's stinking that you need to clean up. But yet, you're judging and pointing a finger at somebody else, okay? So now, they talking about trying to, disconnect themselves with working with her husband. And they got a church and stuff like that. So now they trying to, some of his colleagues want to pull out because of that. Okay, because of her going to get a tattoo on her back. I think she got it on her back or something. And then her husband coming out saying, well, I didn't know she was going to get it. And she don't listen to me. I didn't know nothing about the tattoo and she don't listen to me. Okay? So now everybody's in an uproar and now they want to shut her down altogether. They don't want her to make no speeches or anything because of this tattoo. Okay? Now, I don't really think it's about the tattoo. I think it's about her just being an outgoing person. Okay? Just being herself. Right? I think that's got more to do with it. they want to have control over her and make her, be quiet when they want her to be seen and not heard. Okay? Because this is how some of these churches are. They want you to be seen but not heard. And when you look like you're being yourself, it becomes a problem for other people. You see what I'm saying? But my opinion is she's just being herself and God is working with her. Let's be clear of Shawnee's background. Shawnee comes from reality TV. Okay? So she got some stuff she got to work on. I'm quite sure, just like we all do. Right? We all got some stuff we got to work on. But God, like I said, God works on you on his time. Okay? On his time. He gets you together the way he want to get you together. On his time. He doesn't go by what other people say and what other people think. And that's what I'm saying. I don't go to church. No, I don't. I don't go to church. I don't go to church. It's too much drama, chaos, and confusion in the churches. It really is. I'm not saying they all like that, but I'm saying it's a big percentage of them like that. I think for me, I think for myself, and I deal with God on a personal level. And that's what some people don't understand. You have to deal with the Most High on a personal level. You cannot allow people to make you do what they want you to do. Because if you keep listening to people, that you'll end up going to hell in a handbasket. Like, seriously. You have to build a personal relationship with the Most High. That's it and that's all. We allow too many things to come in between us and the Most High. I don't know. I don't run the church down. I don't go to church. Okay? The experiences I had with churches is not good. So, as I connected myself to God, I learned that God, for me, is not in the churches. I need to worry about having a personal relationship with God. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what I do. That works for me. It works for me. Because I'm not putting nothing and nobody between me and the Most High. And that's what we got to learn. But also, Shawnee just be herself. You can tell she just be who she is, And like I said, she married that man. He had a church and everything. So I'm quite sure she got to work on some things. And that's okay. That's okay. I just hope that she don't let the church and what the church members are saying, affect her in any type of way. The only thing she should be, working with is her husband, talking to her husband. Okay? But far as her listening to the church, no, I wouldn't be listening to the church and the church members. And if they are not willing to accept me, that's fine. That's fine. I don't have to be there. And I would make that known. But she's supposed to be coming out with a speech about the whole situation, right? And I hope that she go to scripture. I hope she pulls some of them scriptures out the Bible on them. Because they always judging and trying to make people be what they want them to be. You see what I'm saying? That's why I don't mess with the churches. I don't mess with the churches. Because they'll belittle you. They'll try to belittle you. They'll try to make you feel less than because you're not doing what they want you to do. You see what I'm saying? And I'm sorry. No. I'm going to do what God wants me to do. Not what the church want me to do. Not what the church people want me to do. I'm going to do what God wants me to do. You see what I'm saying? Hello, baby. Hi, Anthony. And so, that's what we got to learn, though, y'all. We got to learn to follow God, not the churches. Not the churches. Because you keep listening to the church, ain't no telling what's going to happen. You got to listen to the Most High. That's where your faith and stuff should be. With the Most High. Not with the churches. Not with the church people. Okay? Because if they doing her like that, why would you want to be a part of a church who's, degrading you and who's trying to beat you down? And then they came out and said pretty much that they don't want her speaking, and stuff. Basically, they want to see her. They want her to be seen but not heard. That's what they were saying in so many words. Excuse me. It's okay for her to be seen but not heard. And that's how a lot of those churches is. A lot of churches don't want to see you. But I hope she don't allow that and to keep her from being herself. You understand? Because a lot of people do that. A lot of people allow what people say and what people think of them. They make that change. They make, allow that to make them change from people talking about you. And I keep telling people, stop worrying about what people say. Stop worrying about what people say. Just be yourself. Be true to you. Be your authentic self. That's what it's about. And too many of us allow, we allow what somebody say, or what somebody think, or whatever the case may be. We allow those things to affect us. I don't even have people around me that, on that kind of time. Because I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be me. Trust and believe that. I ain't got time to be sitting around. I don't care what you think about me. I really don't. I could care less about what somebody think about me, how somebody feel about me, especially if it's something negative. Please. I'm not going to let those things affect me. And that's what we got to do. We got to stop allowing people to keep us from being ourselves. Because that's what some of us do. Some of us, we listen to other people, and we allow other people to make us get in our feelings, right? Like, say for instance, Anthony, I'm just using you for an example, Anthony. Anthony came in here, right? And what if I say, Anthony, what kind of name is that? That's the only thing your mama could think of, just out the clear blue, just say something like that. I could hurt his feelings or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And make him feel some type of way. But that's what we got to stop doing. We got to start being ourselves. We got to start loving who we are. Then you make changes. Once you learn how to love who you are and stop letting people shame you or make you feel less than, right? That's when you really know you love yourself. When you stop all the worldly noise from affecting you. That's when you know you really love you and you're comfortable in your skin. But a lot of us will not do that. We won't do it. As soon as somebody say something, we get an attitude and we start letting it affect us. If you take time out and start working on self, right? Building self up. And when I say building self up, I mean learning how to be trustworthy to self. Learning how to be loyal to self, right? These things matter. These things are things that people don't think about. We think about being loyal to somebody else, being trustworthy to somebody else. No, we need to learn how to be trustworthy to ourselves. We need to learn how to be loyal to ourselves. Because if you can't do those things for yourself, how the hell you going to do them for somebody else if you can't do them for you? You see what I'm saying? How that's going to work out? If you don't know how to be trustworthy to yourself, and loyal to yourself, how you think that's going to work out? You trying to be trustworthy or loyal to someone else. It ain't going to work out too good because you don't even know how to do that for yourself. Everything starts with self. I keep saying that. Everything starts with you. And if you don't take and work on you, when I say work on you, I mean within. Work on yourself within. Learn how to trust yourself. Be able to trust yourself. Be able to be obedient to yourself. See, these are the things that help you build yourself up. By you just tapping into you and learning how to be loyal to yourself, be trustworthy to yourself, right? Because if you start working on you and doing these things for yourself, hey, you'll be able to do them for other people. It will come. It will just come. You understand what I'm saying? It will just come. If you learn how to do those things for yourself, it's just going to come automatically that you're going to do it for other people. You see what I'm saying? You got to work on respecting yourself. You got to work on not disappointing yourself. You see what I'm saying? That means keeping your word. Your word is supposed to be your bond. That means keeping your word to yourself. When you start working on these things and you get to a place where you can do these things to yourself, you become comfortable in your skin, your self-confidence goes up. You see what I'm saying? You really start feeling good about you. And you know how you're going to automatically know how to treat other people because you're doing it for yourself, which means it's automatic. You're automatically going to know how to treat others. You know, but some of us, we won't tap into ourselves like that. We will not tap into ourselves and build ourselves up. You know, we won't do that. And that's why so many things, so many worldly things affect us in so many ways, because we will not take and build ourselves up. That's the most important thing. Build yourself up. Stop thinking about other people and what they saying about you. Excuse me. Build yourself up. You're going to find that if you work on you and building yourself up, other people is not going to be able to, they're not going to be able to touch you. Not with that gossiping and talking about you and stuff. It's not even going to faze you. It's not even going to faze you. You know, but I want to see how this going to play out with Shawnee, because I want to see how she handle these church people. Is she going to let them break her? Or is she going to stand on business? You know, stand on who she is. You know, because for me, it wouldn't affect me. If they didn't want me back in their church, I wouldn't go. Ain't no whole lot to that. And me and my husband would have a conversation, you know, behind closed doors. But the church members, no, it wouldn't affect me. If anything, the way they talking would make me want to move away from them even more. You see what I'm saying? Even more, I would want to get away from them. Because the way they talking is like they going to try to, you know, break them up. The way they talking. And my opinion is I don't think he should have said anything. I don't think he should have said anything until he talked to her. Whether he knew or not, he didn't have to tell his church members that. But by him doing that makes me think that he's worried about the church, his church colleagues, because he don't want them to pull out from under him. You see what I'm saying? He don't want them to pull out. So I want to see how that play out. I want to see if he gonna staying with his wife, or is he going to stand with the church? That's what I want to see. Yeah. Because by him coming out saying that, he making me think that he more worried about the church than anything. Like I say, some of us got to come to grips with these churches and what these churches is really all about. Some of us got to come to grips with it. Some of us don't want to, but we got to come to grips with it. Because these churches and stuff is not what people think they are. I'm She was devastated. She was devastated. Devastated. She said she was devastated. She said she could not believe it. She said she was so hurt after she read that book because she found out that religion was not what she thought it was. And she said, y'all, if we don't get rid of religion, I don't know what's going to happen to us. That's what she said. But when she found out, when she read that book, she was devastated. Yeah, she said she was really hurt. She was devastated. See, I want to say this. Let me tell y'all something. When you get so into something, right, that you forget about yourself, you forget about the Most High himself, having a personal relationship with him, that's a problem. Think about that. When you get into something and it takes your mind and stuff, off of things that's right, but you so hooked on it that you can't even hear. You can't hear and you can't see the right things. That's a problem. That's a problem, y'all. Hear me when I speak. That is a problem. And that's the problem right there. A lot of people who are into these churches, they can't even hear. They can't hear nothing right. Anything that you say, they block it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to believe it. Anything that you say to them, seriously, they do not want to hear it. They can't hear you or nothing. They can't even think about it because these churches got them so hooked. The churches got them so hooked up that they just cannot break a loose. And when it's like that, that's a problem. That's a problem when you into something so hard you can't even think for yourself. There's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with that, good people. Hear me when I say it. When you can't even think for yourself. You so tied up and bind up into the church that you can't even think for yourself. There's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with that. And that's scary. Some people are so hooked up in the church, they think everything that the church do is right. And they can't think past that. Some people get into these churches, they lose their self. They lose their self in these churches. Seriously. I know a lot of people. I know somebody she in her 70s, if I'm not mistaken. You can't tell her nothing about the churches or Christianity or nothing. You can't tell her nothing. She don't want to hear nothing. Nothing. And she think that everything that they have taught her and told her is right. Is right. That's bad. That's bad when you get into something. And you can't even think. You can't even think for yourself. Because you done tapped into this church. And now the church telling you what to do, how to do it, which way to do it. And don't know, and can't nobody tell you nothing different. That is scary. That is really scary. Because if you think about it, that's like a cult. That's what cults do. Cults bait you in. They tell you what to do, how to do it, which way to do it, all that. And they get you to a point where as though you don't even be thinking for yourself. They be thinking for you. And that's bad. That's scary. That is scary. You should never be caught up into something so much you lose yourself. Let me repeat that again. You should never be into something so much that you lose yourself. Even when, let me tell you something. I have a personal relationship with the Most High, but I haven't lost myself. I haven't lost myself, though. And that's what some of us do. I'm speaking on it, but to each his own. People gonna do what they want to do anyway. My point is, as long as I'm speaking facts, okay? But at the end of the day, people gonna do what they want to do. And that's your business. Like I said, you don't gotta listen to me. Do your research. You look it up. You go digging. You will find out what I'm saying. You'll find out. But yeah, I want to see how that turn out with them. I want to see if the church, excuse me, y'all. I want to see if the church end up, killing their marriage. I hope not, but I want to see. I want to see what the outcome going to be. You gotta believe in yourself. And you never supposed to allow yourself to lose yourself. I don't care what's going on. And that's something that, we have to pay attention to. Yeah. Always continue to love yourself. But you know what I noticed? Some people haven't even learned how to love themselves. Some people haven't even learned that yet. They have not learned how to love themselves. And that's not good. I'm thinking about putting something together, though, so people can participate in it, so that, you can work on loving yourself and putting some tips and stuff, some things that we can do to be able to embrace yourself. Love yourself. Tap into yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to put something together for that. Maybe we can do like a 7-day challenge where we work on improving self, doing things to improve self. You know? I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to work on a challenge or something where we can do that. Because let me tell you something that's so powerful. I call it your love language to yourself, the way you talk to yourself. That is so important, right? Because when you talk to yourself and you talk positivity to yourself, it makes a difference. It changes the game. I'm telling you, it changes the game. When you pour positivity into yourself, excuse me, and you pour positivity into yourself. And what I mean by that is that, you know how some of us, like say you step into something new, and when you find out about it, you start getting self-doubt, fear. You know what I mean? Things that will hold you back from going forward. But if you pour positivity into yourself and say, I'm going to do this. I can do this. You know, I can do this. I have what it takes to do this, and I can do this. I'm going to do this. You see what I'm saying? It changes the game. It changes the whole game. I'm serious. I'm serious. I call it your love language to yourself, right? You have to learn how to talk to yourself because the tongue is a powerful thing. The tongue, I'm going to say it again. The tongue is a powerful thing. And what happens is so many of us talk with doubt. We talk with doubt when we talk to ourselves. We doubt ourselves. That self-doubt, that fear, right? That's what we be talking with when we do talk to ourselves. I don't know if I can do that. Versus, I can do that. I can do that. I'm going to do it. Because I know I can do it. You see what I'm saying? It changes the game. I'm serious. It changes the game when you start changing how you talk to yourself. It really changes the game, y'all. I'm telling you. I'm going to put something together where you can do it. And I'm going to give y'all some affirmations and see if y'all want to try it for a week, you know. And see, and I just want to see how you would feel after you do it. I know for me, it was a game changer. But I started putting positivity into myself, and I still do it. Every morning I get up, I say, I thank God for waking me up. And then I say, today is going to be a great day on purpose. Nothing will get in my way. Because today is going to be a great day. And then I say, I am enough. I'm walking in my assignment. I am great. I am beautiful. I just love me. You see what I'm saying? I talk positive into myself, and I'm telling you, it's a game changer. It really is. It changes the game. It really do changes the game on how you talk to yourself. When you talk, when you pour into yourself, pour positivity into yourself. It's a game changer. I'm walking in my purpose. Oh, yeah. And that's what you got to do. You got to pour into yourself so you can make yourself feel better, so you can make yourself feel good about you. See, we pour so much negativity into ourselves. That's why we don't never feel right. That's why we always feeling fucked up. because we never pour positivity into ourselves. And when you talk to yourself, your tongue is like a weapon. Your tongue is a weapon. Okay? When you pour that negativity into yourself, it sticks and stays. It sticks and stays. You got to start pouring positivity into yourself. You got to start pouring things into yourself that's going to uplift you. You got to pour into yourself things that's going to lift your confidence. And the more you pour into yourself, right, you're going to begin to act on those things. You see what I'm saying? The more you keep pouring into yourself and pouring that positivity in yourself, you're going to start to act on it. It's going to make you want to act on those things. And you're going to start pouring, you're going to start giving yourself the best that you can give yourself. And everything is going to change. Trust me. Everything is going to change. I'm telling you. That tongue, your tongue is a deadly weapon. I'm telling you, it really is. There is a lot of power in the tongue. So you better stop speaking so much negativity in your life, because that's why your life is going the way it's going. Because you speak a whole lot of negativity into your life. You got to change your love language to yourself. You got to start pouring positivity into yourself. I'm telling you, since I've been doing it, I feel so good about me, and I be pushing forward, making moves, making things happen for myself, because I keep pouring positivity into myself and not all that negative stuff, all that negative energy. All it do is bring you down. It bring you down, and it keeps you stuck and stagnated when you keep talking to a negative way about it to yourself. That self-doubt. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know. That's self-doubt. Then the fear. Some people let fear just take over. You know? You gotta stop that. You gotta stop that. You gotta start telling yourself, I can do this. I'm going to do it because I can do it. And you step out there and you do it. Some of us don't take action because we don't feel good about ourselves. Huh? Think about that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Some of us don't feel good about ourselves. That's why we don't take no action. Because some of us done pump so much negativity in us, in ourselves, that it's got us stuck and stagnated. Seriously. Some of us stay in drama. We stay in drama and negativity. That's why your life is the way it is. Because you don't put nothing positive into yourself. And it's going to stay like that. That's why it's going to stay like that. You got to change your love language to yourself and start pouring positivity into you. And see how your world change. Right now, some people feel like a dead flower because they have pumped so much negativity into themselves. But when you start pumping positivity things into you, when you start speaking, when you start speaking life into yourself, that's a game changer. It changes the game. And it's going to make you start to feel good about yourself. It's going to raise your confidence and everything. But you have to do it on a consistent basis. See, you got to practice it because you've been so used to talking negative out your mouth and thinking negative that now that you're trying to change it, you have to do it consistently. You have to be consistent with it so that you can change you. So you, excuse me, so you can change how you feel about you. You got to start pumping life into yourself. Pump life into yourself. Some of us, our tongue is so strong, and we don't even recognize how strong our tongue really is. There's power in your tongue. And when you speak, okay, those things that you speak stay. They stick and stay. Okay? Hello, hello, how are you? Thanks for stopping in. They stick and stay. Those things that you speak off your tongue, they stick and stay. And some of y'all don't even realize that by you talking negatively about yourself, right? Or to yourself, that's why your life seems like it's going down. You gotta speak life into yourself. You got to. Hello, hello. You gotta speak life into yourself. I'm telling you. It changes the game. It really changes the game. And I'm gonna put a challenge together. I'm gonna put a 7-day challenge together. And I'm gonna need y'all to write down some good things to say. Okay? And then we're gonna do the 7-day challenge, and then we're gonna come back, and I wanna know how you feel. I want you to tell me how you feel, you know, when you take and say nothing but positive things to yourself or and about yourself. I want you to tell me how you feel at the end of those 7 days. Okay? Because I'm telling you, it's a game changer. It really changed things for me a lot. And it lifted my confidence, and it made me feel good about myself. Not only that, it made me step out there. I started a business on my own and everything. It really gave me a booster, you know. It pushed me to go up out there, to get some things done for myself. I'm telling you, you gotta watch what you speak off your tongue because it will do some damage, okay? Y'all know y'all done heard that saying, there's power in the tongue. There is power in the tongue. So just imagine if you talk negatively and you got your life stagnated right now and it's stuck, right? Just imagine if you start speaking positivity into your life. Just imagine. Try it. You ain't got to wait for me to start the challenge. Try it for yourself. Write down some good things that you could say about yourself, right? And to yourself, and see what happened. And you got to do them consistently. I do mine at least twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, you know. But you got to be consistent with it. And then from that point on, watch how you say things. You know, like when people say, hey, how you doing today? I'm great. I'm feeling great. How about you? You see what I'm saying? No matter what I'm going through, I say, I'm feeling great. What about you? You see what I'm saying? Because it makes a difference. It makes a difference. But I'm getting ready to let y'all go. I will be back on here a little later. Thank you all for tapping in with me. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Don't forget, have a good day on purpose.